Okay, got Coach Ricky Brumfield. We'll open right up for questions. Rod?
Coach, when now that you're also coaching cornerbacks, does that give you a good idea of who you want to put on coverage teams and that type of thing, and knowing the athleticism of those guys?
Yeah, that does. Being able to be in the room with them and kind of see what they can do personally on the field, individually. Like, obviously, last year I was able to kind of look over at everybody and still could do that this year as well. But just knowing their temperament, their mental, and what they do best at and putting them in the best position. So it does help out a little bit.
How has the division of responsibilities changed? I know that with the ability to have more guys coach hands-on, it's always kind of that pull and push with the special teams and coaching defense for you. Just how is that working now, and kind of how do you divide that stuff?
Well, I got a lot of good help. Coach Salem obviously helps with special teams, with the specialists and different things like that. And then I also have Coach Tanner Koppman, who does a really good job with the cornerbacks. He knows the defense. He was with Coach Santucci over at Duke. So, him coming in was, instrumental in helping me develop as well, knowing the system. And so he does a good job helping out with that. So what I can't do or what I don't have time doing with the corner position, he kind of takes over that, and vice versa with Coach Salem. So it's a good mix of those guys helping out and us putting it together.
Dominic Blaylock was a really reliable punt returner for you guys last year. How have y'all gone about trying to replace him, and what have you seen from that group so far?
Yeah, Dom, I miss Dom, man. He was, steady Eddie, caught every single return, and he was trustworthy back there. He was pretty good in getting north and south, but right now we got Rodney Shelley back there returning punts. We got Malik. We got Bailey Stockton back there returning punts as well, and a couple other guys, and those guys do a really good job. They are more electric. You know what I mean? Those guys are more, hey, watch out. They get the ball in open space, watch out. And that's nothing against my man, but, I think these guys are a little bit faster, a little more electric, and I think we're going to be pretty good in the punt return game.
How do you recognize in someone that they might be able to help you on special teams?
Seeing them during just team and seeing how they play in team. A lot of times in the drills, you see them do the drills, whatever drill it is, the cones and the cans and all of those things, and tackling a donut. But when it's teamwork, when it's team run, and you actually see somebody fitting up and setting the edge, and you see somebody actually coming in and putting their face in there, making a tackle, that sets them apart. And so somebody may look good running during the drills and, call it underwear Olympics, when they're out there working in the summer and all that other stuff like that. They look good doing that, but we got to see what they do in team. And a lot of things right now in the beginning is a lot of drill work. And so we do a lot of drill work. And then once the live team things come in, now I see, okay, he can tackle. He can tackle in space. He's more of a box tackler. He can run and tackle. He can do, you know what I mean? And so then I start seeing who can do what once we do all of these team reps, offense against defense.
Over here, Emily.
Now, I know you don't coach Haynes King directly, but during ACC Media Days, he said he's working on being a better leader. Have you seen that from him in the amount of time you guys have spent together?
Yeah, I have. You know what I mean? He's always telling the guys, come on up. I see him talking to the offense. Even though I'm on defense, I see what he's doing over there. And I see him talking to the team, and I see him getting those guys ready. I can hear him when I'm going by. So he has stepped up being a leader. In my opinion, he's always was a leader. I think he's a little more vocal this year. And I think that's what he's doing now, is being more vocal. So that's what I've seen on my end. Even when we're doing other things, special teams and stuff like that, I think he's being more vocal with the guys.
How crucial is that for a guy like him to do that?
It's really crucial because, being a quarterback, everybody looks for that guy to lead. It's kind of like the stereotypical leader of the team. But not all of them are leading on and off the field. And so a lot of problems come when they lead and they talk on the field and they try to gather everybody up in the team setting, but when they go in the locker room, they're a whole different person. And he's not that person. You know what I mean? He's a leader on and off the field, and I think once you do that, the players around you really truly buy in. And that's what I've seen from him, not just on the field, but in the locker room and walking by in the meeting rooms and different things like that. I've seen him be even more vocal of a leader.
Do you and Coach Key have confidence in Burr now that you can send him out there maybe in some situations that you maybe wouldn't have in the past?
Yes, he has a strong leg. You know, obviously when he came in, had the injury that one year, he had to rest and get healthy. And last year he stepped in and took over. You know, and I personally believe a lot of kicking, in a way, is probably about 90% mental, maybe even more than that. There's a lot of kickers that can make 50-yard field goals, can make whatever field goal it is. There's not a lot that can do it in crucial situations. There's not a lot that can do it in situations where we need them to. You know what I mean? And there's not a lot that have that psyche to be able to go in and do it. And we have nothing but confidence in him going out and making a kick. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, honestly, as a special teams coach, I worry about just making sure we protect. You know what I mean? I think that kick is going in every single time. I just want him to, he has the body language, he has the mindset, he has the swagger, he has the tattoo on his legs. You know what I mean? So he's got it.
I was going to ask you about the corner position. Obviously, Amari comes back. He was very productive in the back half of the season for you guys. And then you brought in Warren, who had a really good spring for you. Does that open some things up with Rodney Shelley? And then you brought in Zach as well in that group. And then you have a lot of younger guys, too. Just can you kind of give me a little overview of where that's at?
Yeah, I think, you know, Warren coming in, you know, him being in the spring to be able to be implemented in the defense and know what we're doing has been instrumental to his success so far during camp. He's a leader. He's a vocal leader. He loves to get on the young guys as far as getting them right and coaching them up, you know, trying to take Sid under his wing a little bit. Amari is a player that he has more confidence than anybody you've ever met in your life, you know what I mean? But as a corner, you got to have that confidence. And I want that confidence. I want that confidence. I want that swagger. I want you to think that there's not one person in the world that can beat you on the route. And if they ever beat you, what I did wrong, all right, I got to get it fixed. But, you know, Warren has that confidence in him. Amari has that confidence in him, big playmaking ability. Rodney is electric at what he's doing. You know, Rodney could play at a lot of different positions, and obviously as a punt returner. So he's going to be beneficial to our success. And then Zach coming in from Illinois has been a pleasure. You know what I mean? Like, he's long, he's big, he's strong. He understands defense. He understands our defense, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. So I believe we have 4 corners that can play all the way across the field, and I think all 4 of them are going to play. You know, and then the young guys like Nehemiah, you know, is doing a good job. Troy Stevens doing a really good job. Nico was here last year. He's doing a good job, and you know, I talked about Sid. Those guys just have to kind of get more consistent with their technique, and I think once they get that, then they'll be pretty good for us.
Anything else? Rod and then Kelly wrap it up.
When you look at David, it seemed like he was more consistent last year than he was the year before. What are you looking from him this year?
More consistency. You know, if you kind of go back and look, you know, he had some punts that was kind of short in the middle. You know, he's got to hit that target spot just a little bit more. Whether it's the numbers or whether, you know, it's the hash or whatever it is, he's just got to work on hitting that target spot a little more consistent. But he did a really good job getting rid of the ball, not holding it, not having a long get-off time. But shoot, just yesterday, or I don't even know what day of the week it is, whenever we practiced last Saturday, I mean, he was booming. It was 50-plus yard punts, and he was out there to the numbers, giving us time to get down there and cover, and having great height and distance and placement on the punt. So what I'm looking for is just being more consistent with his placements. You know, his distance is pretty good. He just got to get a little more consistent with the placement.
Kelly.
I was going to ask you about kickoff. Obviously looking for a new kickoff guy, and then also the kickoff return game as well, where maybe not the best decisions all the time at times last year, and trying to be smart about that, but also be explosive in that, and kind of what you're working with there.
Yeah, I think, you know, in kickoff return, I thought we did pretty good in kick return. You go back and look at numbers, I thought we did pretty good. You know what I mean? I think we put our offense in great field position, which is, you know, our number one goal. So for a kickoff return perspective, you know, I felt like we did have some good decisions, and we were in good, you know, placement given the offense. Kickoff, obviously, we got to get fixed. And, you know, we had issues with, you know, scheme. We had issues with personnel. We had issues with just kicking the ball. And so it's my job to make sure we get it fixed. And so it's on me. It's not, you know, it never was one person or whatever, but it's obviously our job to get it fixed and put better players or people in better position to make plays. You know what I mean? And if I could do that, then I think we're going to be pretty good overall on special teams. We have the depth. We got a lot of good players. We got a lot of young players that can make plays, which will help out our kickoff team and it'll help with the success of it.
Okay. Coach, thank you.
You got it.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.